Okay, everybody, I'd like to share with you my repair for my SG-235 tuner that I blew up again for the fourth time. You probably saw some of the still photos where the caught on fire. This little inductor transformer T2. It's used to detect a phase. I cleaned it all up, ground all that out, and proceeded to try to make my own core. I had a small FT100, FT500, I think, half-inch core that was too long. It was a Type 43 material, so I took it outside in the vise, put a wooden dowel in it, and kind of scored it and hit it with a die grinder cutoff tool, and it snapped the end of the ring off, which is about the same width as the core that was in there earlier. This is a little bit bigger. It did have 3 turns on it, so I proceeded to wire it all up. Didn't work at first. I found out that I had a bunch of miswires, not a bunch, but a few miswires, because I'd taken out so much circuit board I couldn't tell which land went to which trace. So I guessed and got it wrong 2 places. Fixed it here this morning and still didn't work. It kept tuning and never found an actual solution. So I thought, well, maybe there's too much inductance in this core, and I'll take out a winding, and by golly, it worked. So that's why this wire is longer. I just undid one of these windings on the secondary and put only 2 turns on it, and it worked. So that's what I wanted to show you. So I'm going to try here with just one hand to reassemble this thing. I want to put the CPU board back in. Got to line these pins up here. Bear with me. Boy, I'm just not a left-handed kind of guy. Okay, maybe I should have just held the phone with the left hand and did it with my right hand. So this is a challenge. Okay, I think boy, we're getting it. And we did. We got it. Yay! And hook this up here. Okay, that board's in. CPU board. This is a previous repair here. And we're going to power this baby up very carefully. Put the 12 volts to it here. Boy, this is pretty sketch. So, bam. Okay. So I'm doing a light bulb test that SG recommends. I have a 100-watt light bulb on the output, parallel with the output. I'm driving it with my trusty FT891. I have all the bands in CW mode at half power. And what we're going to do is key up, and then you'll hear this thing chatter. I'll go through the LEDs real quick. The first one is detection of power. So when you see forward RF, this is going to light up. This second one here, I believe, I have to look on here. I think this is phase. So yes, phase. So it'll tell you if it's lit, I think it's positive for pure capacitance phase. And if it's dark, it's negative or inductive phase. The third one is whether it's above 2 to 1 or not. So that's kind of telling it to do the fine tune. So it tries to get it below 2 to 1 and then dials it in. Low Z tells you whether it's the impedance is on the low side or the high side. And when it finds a solution, it lights the last tune. So the transformer that blew up was dealing with the phase, which was the second LED, which prior was just on solid. But now when I key up, you'll see it flickering, which tells me that the phase detection circuit is working. And the third one, it's over 2 to 1. When it goes dark, it's less than 2 to 1, and then it'll fine tune. Hopefully it'll find a solution, lock it, and light the last one. So here we go. We're going to go with, well, here, let's just change the bands. Let's go to 40 meters. One thing I noticed is it does, well, here, let's just show you. So here we go. So, okay, so it's already remembering the solution so from prior. So what we got to do with this is we lock the tune lock in here. Okay, and there's the mode where you can force it to retune. So if you tie the lock to ground and then you hit the reset button, you put it in a mode. If I can do it without blowing anything up. Okay, I reset it. That puts it in a mode. As soon as you key up, it's going to force the retune and so we'll see what happens. So there it goes. It's tuning. See it? Bam! It found a tune, and look at that. So I have the meter set to SWR, and why it's varying, I don't know. Maybe the light bulb, but it's less than 1.5 to 1, so that's good. Let's try another band. One thing I noticed is the SWR doesn't seem to be calibrated. That's supposed to go dark when it's less than 2 to 1. It seems that it's actually more like 2.5 to 1 according to this meter here, but I don't know why, because the transformer that controls the SWR was not affected, but maybe from the blast or from the fire, it affected some nearby components and took it out of tolerance. So here we go. So you see it clicking. Bam, it found a tune. And let's see, it's a little bit over 2 to 1. Is it usable? Yeah. The third LED indicates that it's under 2 to 1. and that's the best match you can find. But the radio actually shows 2 to 1. I don't know if we're splitting hairs, but we are trying to tune a light bulb. The hope is that when you take it out in the field, you actually put a real antenna, it's going to find something actually lower than a real 2 to 1. So let's try some other bands here. 40 meters or 20 meters. 14 megahertz is always a band of interest for me for camping and portable work. So we're going to key up here. I'll try to go back, see the light bulb going. The LEDs are going. Light bulb trying. Bam, it locked in. It found a match or a tune. And look at the SWR. Bam, it hit it. It's below 1 to 1 or 1 to 1. Right there. It doesn't even go up. This is SWR. You'll see SWR there. And this is CW, 50 watts. Bam. Okay, let's try some other bands real quick. Try to keep the video short. Here we go, 15 meters. It's trying. Bam, it found a match. And let's see where it is. A little over 1 to 1, 1.2 to 1. Why it's varying, I don't know. That indicates a loose connection, or a bad relay, or maybe just a light bulb. But yeah, 1.5 to 1, that's acceptable. Let's try another band real quick here. 10 meters. See what happens with 10 meters. Let's try it. Bam. It found a match. Same thing. Less than... Why is it moving? I don't know. It's less than 1.5 to 1. I don't know why it's moving. But anyway, it seems to be working. We'll try the low bands here. I'm pretty happy. At least it's not destroyed. I don't have to throw it away. And so it's doing a tune. This is... Bam, found a tune. Yeah, it's over 2 to 1. A little, about 2 to 1. According to this, it's the third LED. It's bent down. It says it's less than 2 to 1. The radio doesn't think so. Maybe. I mean, it could be just within the tolerance. It's not 3 to 1. It's somewhat usable for field work or whatever. And we'll go back to 40 meters real quick. 40 meters. It's going to do its tune. And I'm really fortunate. Oh, this one didn't hit it. Sometimes it hits it and it gets it right at 1 to 1. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. We could try to reset it, force it again. Okay, we're in a tune lock mode. We're in the override mode. So let's try it again. There. So just the luck of the draw. Maybe there's some tolerances that aren't exactly accurate with the phase detection that screws up the algorithm. I did with my makeshift mod. Not a makeshift mod, it's a permanent mod. But 40 meters is less than afforded, less than 1.5 to 1. So that's good. I wanted to show you one other thing here, SG-235 owners. If you take it out of this lock mode, you just, I was holding this to ground. This is the lock. The blue is a reset, so I'm going to reset it. Bam. And it takes it back out of that force retune mode. So now it's going to be back in conventional mode, which means it should pull out of memory everything that was already tuned. So you see the key up, bam, no tuning, 40 meters. So if I go back to say 20 meters, it should remember that. And let's see how fast it goes. Clicks into tune. I haven't keyed up yet. So 3, 2, 1, bam. I heard click, click, and it just went right to it. And that happens to be a really good SWR. So it is remembering everything. It's a pretty quick tune. We'll go 10 meters, 3, 2, 1, bam, instant. So a good tune. So here we go. I'd say it's working. So here's my makeshift Vox for my new radio, 9700. And here we go. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a good Saturday. 7-3 for all. See ya.